so glad that you can join with me. This week in our Topic Gather Times, we're going to be going to Jamaica.
Hello boys and girls, we're going to try and see if we can find Jamaica on our world map because that's the country we're learning about this week. But firstly, let's recap on the countries that we've already explored so far. Can you find the United Kingdom for me? Yep, it's here, well done. And France, can you remember where France is? Yeah, very close by, just here. And China, can you remember where China is? Yep, did you spot the panda? Over here, well done. And then Bangladesh, can you remember where Bangladesh is? Yes, next to India. Just here, well done. Now we're going to look for Jamaica. Now Jamaica is an island, it's a small island and it's in the Caribbean. Okay, let's see if we can find it. It's quite hard to see. Yep, it's here. This is Jamaica's flag. The colours on its flag are black, gold and green. The black symbolises the strength and creativity of the Jamaican people. The gold is the natural wealth and beauty of the sunlight, and the green represents the farming that takes place in Jamaica. Jamaica is an island. An island is a piece of land that is surrounded by sea. Jamaica has lots of beautiful beaches on its coast and tall mountains inland. You could have a go at making a model of an island this week. This week I've asked you to find out about volcanoes because Jamaica and other islands in the Caribbean were formed from prehistoric volcanoes that erupted from out of the sea. But do you know what a volcano is? Could you explain it to somebody? Well, a volcano is an opening on a planet or even a moon, and the volcano allows material to escape from it. Now, the material inside the volcano is warm, warmer than the outside of the volcano. So when the material starts to escape, it causes the volcano to erupt. Now, this eruption can be explosive. It can send material high into the sky, or it can be a calm eruption and material will flow down the side of the volcano. Now, we can describe the activity of a volcano in 3 different ways. Firstly, we can say that the volcano is active. That means it's erupting or it's likely to erupt very soon. We can also say that the volcano is dormant. That means it may erupt in the future, but it is not showing any activity at the moment. The third way to describe a volcano is to say that it is extinct. That means it is very likely that it will not erupt again. Now, do you know what actually comes out of the volcano when it erupts? Well, it's liquid rock, and when we can see it when it's coming out of the volcano, we call that lava. When we can't see it and it's under the Earth's surface, we call it magma. Also coming out of the volcano will be cinders and ashes and also gas. Now, there are lots of examples of volcanoes on Earth, but did you know that volcanoes also exist in space? You can find them on other planets and even on moons belonging to other planets. So Jupiter, Saturn and Neptune all have moons with volcanoes that are erupting right now. So we're going to have a go at making our very own erupting volcano. So I've sent your mums and dads a volcano experiment for them to print out at home. Now, with this experiment, it comes with a volcano that you can cut out, or you could have a go at just making your own with a piece of paper. Now, for this experiment, you're going to need a few things. Now, it's a messy experiment, so I'm going to put on my science goggles, but you don't really need them, they're just for effect. Now, we need a cup, a plastic cup. We need some washing up liquid. we need something called bicarbonate of soda. You may have used this when you've been baking with your mums and dads. Some red food colouring so that we can show the magnificent lava coming out of the volcano. You're going to need a spoon, some water, and some vinegar, some white vinegar. And I've also got a tray just to mop up all the spills. Okay, so once we've cut out our volcano, we're going to start the experiment. So getting our tray, we're going to fetch our cup and we're going to fill it half full with water. So you need to work out where halfway is. Right, after we've done that, we're going to add a couple of drops of the red food colouring. Okay, we'll just pop a few drops in there. Okay, there we go. Can you see that just in there? Okay, then we're going to add in the baking soda. Now, it says 3 teaspoons of baking soda. So we're going to need to measure and we're going to need to count those out. Okay, so will you count them with me? 1, 2, 3. Okay, right then, the next thing we're going to add is some washing up liquid, and it says 2 teaspoons of washing up liquid. So let's measure that again. Count 2 with me. 1 and 2. Let's just let that drip off the spoon. Okay, right then, the next thing we need to do is to place our volcano over the top of the cup. Let's do that. Okay, now in this experiment you need to add some vinegar. Now my vinegar has got a little hole in the top, which means I can squirt it straight inside the volcano. So let's have a look what happens when I start pouring in the vinegar. Watch carefully. Oh, my volcano's lifting up. Oh, well, it didn't come out of the top of the volcano, but it certainly came down the side. Can you see all that lava, all that melted rock coming out of the volcano? I'll take the top of the volcano off so you can also see it a little bit more closely there. So this week, see if you can have a go at doing that experiment at home, and maybe you can try and find out why it worked. Why does the vinegar react so well with the bicarbonate of soda? It's a really fun experiment. Give it a try. Oh, hello everybody. I was just making Mr. Snowden a nice cup of tea. I'm just going to put a splash of milk in. And there's something else that Mr. Snowden likes to have in his tea. Something that makes his tea taste sweet. Can you guess what it might be? Yes, it's in this box here. Can you read it? That's right, it's sugar. So I'm just going to put a teaspoon of sugar inside Mr. Snowden's tea. Now this week, I've asked you to find out about sugar. Where does it come from? In Jamaica, they grow a plant called sugarcane, and they export sugar all around the world. Now, we can find sugar in lots of different food products that we like to eat. But is eating sugar good for us? What do you think? What happens when we eat too much sugar? Well, it can cause lots of problems for our health. It can cause us to put on weight, is one reason why it might not be so good to eat a lot of sugar. And also it can affect our teeth as well. And there's many other reasons why eating too much sugar is not a good idea. Now, our bodies really love sugar. I'm sure you like eating sweets and chocolates. And that's because it's a really good product for our body to digest and turn into energy very quickly. But the problem with it is that it doesn't give us very much energy for a very long time. Now on the table, I've got some products here that have sugar in them. So here we've got my frosted Wheaties here. We've got my digestive biscuits that have sugar in. My chocolate spread, a can of fizzy drink, they often have a lot of sugar in, and a packet of Haribo sweets will all have sugar inside. But there are some other food products that I bet you like to eat that you didn't even know had a lot of sugar in. So I bet you all like to put tomato ketchup on your plate. It has a lot of sugar. And also foods like baked beans. But how can we find out how much sugar are inside these foods? Well, we can look for a traffic light system on the packet. So here with my tomato ketchup, we can see green lights and orange lights here. And here on one of the squares here has the word sugars. This one is orange. That means that there is some sugar in there. If it was green, it would mean it had very little or no sugar inside. And if it was red, it would mean there was a lot of sugar in the tomato ketchup. So this week, I'd like you to go around your house in the kitchen and find some food products with these traffic light symbols on and see which kind of products have a lot of sugar in and which have little sugar. This is Usain Bolt. He's a very famous Jamaican athlete. He's a runner and he's the fastest man in the world. He holds the world record for the fastest time in the men's 100 and 200 meter events. Here he is doing his very famous dab pose. Now, Jamaica is a tropical country. That means that the weather is warm and humid, and that's a really good environment for growing tropical fruits, like some of the ones I've got on the table here. Now, one of my favourite fruits is a banana. Who else likes eating bananas? Great, I'm glad you do. Now, bananas are really, really good for you. They're a fantastic source of potassium, and potassium is really good for our bodies. It helps to keep our hearts healthy, to lower our blood pressure, and it means that it can also help against having things like heart disease or a stroke as you get older. Also, bananas make us feel really full and give us energy. They're really good for our digestive system, for our stomachs. And there's something else about bananas that I didn't know. Well, in Jamaica, they have mosquitoes. Do you know what a mosquito is? Well, a mosquito is a tiny insect that bites humans and animals in order for it to feed on their blood. Doesn't sound very nice, does it? Also, it can leave an itchy mark on the skin that's not very nice. So putting your banana skin on top of your mosquito bite is very, very soothing. So I think bananas are really, really fantastic. So this week I'd like you to eat some bananas. Maybe you can make some banana bread or cake at home as well. And maybe you could have a go at making some fruit smoothies, using some of the fruits that you can see here. Yum.